Hi, end of October here, and we're beginning the holiday season here. It's starting to get a little colder outside. It's still pretty nice where I live. As you can see, right here, I got my heaters out, and we made orange orange Halloween cupcakes and gave them to the neighbors the other day, and I sent some little baggies of Halloween candy to my older children who don't live in the home anymore so they can get their Halloween treats from their mom. Did that today. So that's the season. I've been sharing my decisions, some of the most foundational decisions that I've made in my life, and I've been doing them 2 at a time. I've got 4 left, and I think I want to do them 1 at a time now. Hopefully, for one reason, to make these videos just a little bit shorter. I don't know, we'll try. And for this one today is actually pretty hard to explain. But the way I state this decision is I chose to stop selling the sacred. And I actually wrote about this, so I'm actually going to bring up my notes here just a little bit to explain what I mean by that. And so what is sacred in our lives? Our body is sacred, our time is sacred, our family is sacred, our peace of mind and integrity are sacred. In other words, you are sacred, we are sacred. And everything else is not. And sometimes we live our whole lives for everything else out there, and we forget to do the things we need to do for ourselves, for our family, to hold our time sacred, and we only get one life. This is it. And so, for example, one of the things we often give up very quickly is our peace of mind and is our integrity. And we do this for example, sometimes we make decisions like, let's say we want to keep a job and our boss asks us to do something just a little bit cross the line. Some of us might feel like we need to do what the boss asks us to do, and that is not an easy decision. I'm not saying that it's an easy decision. But you make enough of those, and the reason that you do that is you think, well, I've got to keep my job, right? I've got to have a paycheck. I've got to be able to pay for my house, and if you have little kids at home or something like this, it makes it a difficult decision. I'm not saying it's an easy decision. But if you make enough like that, or if it doesn't even have to be the boss asking you, maybe it's you yourself saying, oh, it won't matter if I do this. Or even just the fact that that's going to build up and it's going to wear on you. It's bad karma. And even just the fact of being in jobs. For me, this is how far I've come. Being in a job and selling my time for $15 an hour, that is wrong on the deepest of levels. If you have 24 hours a day and you're selling some of them for $15 an hour, you're doing something wrong. I'm doing something wrong. That's not work. That's not called work. And I say, well, I'm a hard worker. That's not work. Work is when you build something and when you create something. Just going and being in a place, and again, I'm not saying it's easy to switch to that, because we've all been there. And I can only talk about myself, so I'm not saying that about you, but this is the realization I came to. I cannot countenance selling my time and being away from my children for that time, for that price, for any price, really. And so then the question becomes, well, how am I going to create the money? And then you get into the entrepreneur mindset, where you create an asset that can just bring in money. It's not tied to time. Okay, so the point of this is not just to tell you what you need to do or change or whatever, but it's just that it's so ingrained in our society to sell sacred things, and to even things like keeping things in storage boxes. Like in the last year, I've been cleaning out my closets, and I'm asking myself, why is this on my shelf? Why is this taking up space in my life? I'm never going to use this, really. I keep thinking I will, but I never will. I have gotten rid of so many things in the last year or so. And having all that stuff was a loss of my peace of mind. okay? And what price was I paying for that? So I could keep stuff. But it took me that many years to realize that. And then, once I started throwing things away, everything that I started, once I started throwing things away, it got easier and easier because I could feel the lightness and things. And so that was a place in my life where I was selling something sacred, my sense of having a clear home and being at peace for some material object on hand at home. And now I trust the universe to bring me what I need at the time that I need it, the manna principle, instead of saving everything just in case, because I'm afraid. There's some part of me that's afraid. And I actually, this mindset allows me to pay more money for things that are important. I'm not looking for bargains. I'm looking to pay full value to people who are building valuable things. If they're making quality things and they're trying to support their family, I'm not interested in a bargain or shaving off a couple of dollars. I'm interested in, if there's a waitress serving me my meal, I'm interested in giving her a big tip. If there's a person who has made some handcrafted item and they're selling it for, so much, I'm like, you should be charging more for this and let me give you that. I take pride in paying the value for things that I actually want and need. If I actually want it and I actually need it, then it's valuable enough for me to pay some money and to make an investment. And if it's something that I don't need or don't want, then there's no sale price that can justify it, because I'm paying money for nothing. I'm paying money for something I don't actually want. So it's like paying money for nothing. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I obviously did not get a shorter video here, but I actually thought that this particular decision would take a little bit more explanation, so that's why I wanted to do it by itself. And so you may want to examine your life and see where you're selling the sacred, and put up some boundaries and make some different decisions. Make sure you understand what your priorities are, and that those are the things that your peace of mind is your priority. Your family and your time is something you protect, and let everything else go. Just get away from all the other kinds of mindsets that are out there that we're used to, if they don't fit that. And it may mean that you're different than everybody else around you, but it will. Once you get used to doing that, you'll never go back. Your heart will feel freer, and so that decision has helped me in so many ways, and so I give that to you. I'll see you tomorrow, or whenever I do another video.